Good morning, everybody. Top of the day to you. Got another one of my Christmas shirts on. Very similar. Not today. Splat cat. Keep calm, carry on. What I'm noticing about these is that they're very much along the same theme. I didn't really look through this before I bought it, and I thought they'd be more all-encompassing and affirmational and aspirational. They're very much similar. So far, I'm beginning to see a trend toward motivation type quotes more than I might like. I would like to see more of a variety, but that is why this is going to be its own section, so that I can continue to fill out some of the other sections with other things. The quote today hits a little close to home. A ship in port is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. See what I mean about motivational, go get 'em, make changes, tackle your life sort of quotes? We're supposed to dream big and achieve our dreams, and all of these things are true and good. But as a recovering agoraphobic, not very many years ago, I couldn't leave my front door. I personally have challenges with change. They say that people would prefer to stay in known hells as opposed to unknown heavens. I often find myself saying instead, how do I know I'm not hopping from the pan into the fire? Truth is, you don't. We like to stay with what's safe, and what's safe is what's familiar. Even if what's familiar is unhealthy, it's an unhealthy job environment, it's an unhealthy relationship dynamic, it's an unhealthy lifestyle, it's an unhealthy habit, an unhealthy mindset. It is safe because it's known. And depending on how traumatized and messed up we are, we may feel that we were at the end of our rope, we have experienced enough pain and trauma, and changing things up will just add more stress with an inevitable big fat question mark whether it's actually going to be good for us or not in the long run. So we run from change and stay in the safety of known hells. If it's working for you, then keep doing that. If you've got a workable, happy, fulfilling situation, you're already winning, keep doing that in life. But if things aren't working, you've got to make changes. And for me, making change is like the cartoon when you try to get the cat in the bathtub and they cling onto the walls and you couldn't force them through the doorway to wash the cat. Yeah. At one point, I was literally doing that in my own front door. I've come a long way since then, but there's a lot of things that could use some modification. And I have a really hard time free falling. I don't have the social support. I don't have the financial safety net. I don't have a lot of things to catch me if I fall, besides myself. So just letting it all go and taking a leap could mean leaping from an airplane without a parachute. Our brains are also designed to keep us safe. Our brains resist change. Anytime it gets sensory information from our body or our mind that something is different, something is making you minorly uncomfortable, something is causing you to pause, to hesitate, to question, something is different, it goes into protection mode because it's meant to keep us alive, and it is alert to those signs and tries to pull you backward to your habitual familiar and resist the change that you wanted to instill. Your conscious mind is designed to, your brain is designed to resist change. People aren't meant to be stuck. People aren't meant to pull into a harbor somewhere along their life and never pull back out. Dock like a ship and just stop. We're built to be out to sea. We're built to continue to go, to continue to grow, to continue to change, to continue to pursue, to continue to evolve, to continue to develop personally, interpersonally, in our jobs, our aspirations, our goals, our situation in life. We're not meant to get stuck. We get stuck sometimes. And it's easier to change for some of us than it is for others, for a variety of reasons. Knowing that your brain is hardwired to try to resist change can be a helpful tool for some of you to know. To recognize that tinge that you feel when you go to make that positive step of resistance isn't real fear. It isn't legitimate fear of change, of a positive opportunity landing in your lap that you shouldn't take. It's not like a bad omen. It's your brain's natural response, and all you have to do is recognize that it's just your physiology. That doesn't mean that it's accurate. Knowing that can be enough to help some people change. We're either growing or we're dying. It's as simple as that. So as terrifying as change is, as risk is, as pulling out of the harbor is, we have to embrace it. Even if it's just the tiniest area of your life, even if it's just eating a little bit better or reading books. Pick something, it could be something small, and make a change. Make a change in your ways, make a change in your days. Make a change in your behavior, drive a different way to work. Build up the resilience and capacity to tolerate change if change is hard for you. Through small, minute changes that are not big. Driving a different way to work is not a big change. And this will begin to cultivate in you a resilience and a capacity to handle change. And maybe you'll feel more secure in taking larger and grander risks and changes in your life, and setting up bigger goals and aiming for grander things. build up the capacity to tolerate change so that you can tolerate more riskier ventures, and make less those riskier ventures by trying to set things up ahead of time. You don't have to leave your job and jump into a free fall. You can look for another job while you're at your job. You can set aside a safety net of money in case that job doesn't pan out. You can do things in advance of a change, a potential change, even if you don't follow through with the change, to set yourself up for being in a better place should you make the change. And if you instill tiny changes in your situation while you're doing this, you'll be more equipped when the opportunity comes up to take that leap. And if you have prepped plan A's, plan B's, and safety nets and securities, you'll feel less fearful about taking those leaps in life and then jumping from the pan into the fire. But sooner or later, if you don't pull out of the harbor, something within us begins to die. If we're stuck in a rut for too long, if we're not progressing, if we're not developing, if we're the same for too long, something inside of us begins to deteriorate and wither, and it doesn't feel good. So, as difficult as it is, pick a spot, a little spot, start today. Pick something and do it differently, and continue to do those tiny things differently over and over and over again, until change isn't such a frightening concept, and realize that your resistance to change is less about the positives of your current situation and more about the fear of change and your brain's natural preservation techniques that aren't necessarily logical or in your best interest. And if you stay too long, it eats away at your soul. Prep for your change. Practice change so you can make bigger changes, and pull out of the harbor. Even if it's a slow process, like for me, it's a slow process. It's not gonna be a grandiose thing when things dramatically make a change in my own life, because that's not an area of expertise for me. For sure. A ship in port is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. We cling to unhealthy behaviors, unhealthy relationships, unhealthy situations, and we do not leave, we do not go, we do not stop it, we do not stop damaging ourselves, harming ourselves from what we're mired in, even if it hurts, because the familiarity feels safe. That happens a lot when people have been traumatized. Trauma's familiar, pain is familiar, and at least you know this one. You don't know what's happening next. And safety becomes the top priority in a person's life. But again, we're not built that way. And no matter how secure you feel, you'll feel unfulfilled and unhappy if you continue to stay. So if changes need to be made, pull out of the harbor, out into the ocean, get going. Love you guys. Good morning. Goodbye. Good luck.